So now that the infamous Chinese spy balloon has been shot down over the Atlantic, predictably, everybody has moved into their camps and they all, quote unquote, know what's really going on. Well, what if I told you the real story has yet to be uncovered? Once you make your mind up about a certain aspect of things, that they're always all bad or they're always all good, you will never actually see the truth. But what if I told you all you would have to do is watch this sci-fi series from 2014 to 2016 to get the answer? Now, I know a lot of people are already rolling their eyes and scratching their heads. Florida Maquis, you have talked about colony ad nauseum. You think it's the answer to everything. It's not. It's not the answer to everything. But there is an episode. Actually, I'll give you the title of the episode. It's called 98 Seconds, Season 1, Episode 3, that explains exactly what was going on with the Chinese spy balloon. Now, those of you who have the series on DVD or have access to it, I believe it's on the Roku channel and other places you can watch it. Go check it out. See, the space aliens in the series have the ability to respond anywhere at any time in a matter of seconds. You see, it has to do with those seconds. Why would a Maquis freedom fighter organization need a stopwatch? Would you like to join us and find out? We're going to be covering it over at Patreon in detail and showing exactly what the Chinese were doing, why the U.S. military reacted the way that it did, and why they waited so long. And of course, predictably, why everybody has decided to move into Camp A or Camp B, so that nobody else bothers to think about option C, option D. That's the key. They know the American people are susceptible to this idea of not wanting to stick their neck out, not wanting to be laughed at, not wanting to be castigated. Meaning you're going to join your version of the in crowd, one side or the other. If you'd like to join us at Patreon, it's $1 per month, even less if you sign up for an entire year. And if it could be less than $1, I would charge it. I would find out whatever the minimum was to create just the paywall speed bump and charge that. Just to keep the trolls out. Partnering with Vimeo, we can show things they don't want you to see. And if it's not for you, you have 90 days to discern that for yourself. And up to that 90 days, every dime you've spent, up to $3, comes right back at you. No questions asked. So it's pretty much risk-free. So would love to have you there. But Psychological Operations 101 is going to be part of the new info battle space that if you're not trained in, you're going to lose every time. And you're going to miss the real story. Because the things that are easy to believe, one way or the other, are never the answer. Case in point. I had a commenter come to my channel and say, Florida Maquis, why do you always pick on, and this was his term, not mine, the question askers, giant air quotes there, the question askers. Meaning I was, of course, being facetious, tongue-in-cheek, making a little bit of fun of the flat earthers. Well, you see, how many of you have ever met a flat earther that was genuinely asking a real question they wanted an answer to, or that they did not know the answer to? Of course, you never meet one. You see, the questions they're asking are rhetorical. They're just phrasing their statements about their beliefs in the form of a question to try to slow walk you to their religion. And it is a religion. It's a cult. Because they already have their minds made up. They're not asking questions because they're seeking answers. They're asking questions, posing things as questions, rhetorical questions, to try to get you to come into their light of illumination. It's an old trick. It's an old trap. Don't you think if we were on a spinning ball 1,000 miles an hour, Jesus would have told us in the Bible? You see, it's stuff like that. Ridiculous assumptions about, what the Bible is about, what it's not, and history and basic geometry, of course, and physics will show you that this is a little bit beyond belief. But of course, they, like so many others, don't want you asking any questions, any real questions that might lead to real answers, because they already have the answers for you. It's option A and option B. You're either way over here and you're totally against anything the current administration does, cannot possibly be any good decisions made. Or option B, all decisions made because it's the current administration have to be respected as good and right, and or you're not an American, or you're not a patriot, or you're totally against the idea of freedom and liberty, because of course that's an American decision, and if you're against an American decision, you're against America. Now, I'm going to leave with kind of something a little bit less intense, but it goes to the idea of getting into a camp and seeing things through only one lens. When you really believe you're seeing the whole world and you're totally woke, but you're only seeing things through a certain lens. How many of you remember years ago, decade ago, I think it is now, a song came out by Carrie Underwood. Maybe it was even longer than 10 years, called Two Black Cadillacs. I'm sure a lot of you country music fans probably remember this. She sang it at the ACM Awards, and they rolled out these really great old Cadillacs. The idea, a lot of people are like, Flora Maquis, what does this have to do with anything? Just stick with me. It has to do with seeing something and then not realizing what you're seeing because of the context it's placed in. It's just a song given, but people have been canceled for way less than just singing a song, have they not? Has not the woke mob canceled people for just one offhand comment or one offhand tweet? Right? That's that not what they do? Well, this particular artist sang a song and it was super popular. I don't know if it went to number one or not, but given that it was sang on the award show, I believe it did. Everybody heard it. And what's the theme of the song? The song's called Two Black Cadillacs. It's two women that realize that they are both sleeping with the same guy. And he's been kind of playing both of them. And they both feel a little bit ashamed. They feel a little bit hurt. So what's their response? Between the two of them, they cook up a plot to murder the guy. And they do. And they kill the man. And the entire video centers around the two Cadillacs eventually meeting at the funeral where the first time they see each other is over his coffin. Now, let's reverse the genders for 1 minute. What if it was a song about two guys who realize that they're both spending time with the same woman? And then these two guys cook up a plot to kill the woman. First of all, I don't think it would have ever seen the light of day at any publishing house ever, much less recorded, much less make it to award status. Would it? But wait, I thought everybody was equal. I thought, men and women were the same thing and you can be whatever you want and we should treat each other just like we would want to be treated. You see, it's okay for Carrie Underwood to sing a song about two women getting their feelings hurt because some guy's double dipping and then plotting to murder him, being successful at the secret murder plot, and then driving away in Cadillacs. That's perfectly fine. Oh man, but if it was two guys and they'd found out a girl was parking two ponies in one stable, so to speak, and they plotted to do her even the littlest bit of harm, much less murder her, it would have never, the outcry from the feminists would have been insane. Oh, this is going to promote domestic violence. It's going to be a theme song for harming women. I mean, that's exactly what you would get, wouldn't you? But we haven't heard a word Have we? About Carrie Underwood being canceled for doing this? Now, it's just a song. I get it, but wouldn't it be just a song either way? What if it was a song about a guy singing a song about figuring out his girlfriend's cheating and then getting together with the guy she's cheating with and then putting her in a casket? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I can't imagine anybody in Nashville even touching it with a 10-foot pole, to be truthful, because they'd realize the double standard. But this is what happens. You see, the woke crowd believes they're not susceptible to double standards. The woke crowd believes they see everything for what it is and as it is, and they totally miss this. So what happens when you get into one camp and you don't think about things clearly? You don't look at what actually happened and then subtract the emotion, and then look at the facts as they sit. When you do that, with this case with the Chinese spy balloon, you'll see exactly what was going on. And there's a video coming over at the Patreon channel next 24 to 48 hours. We're going to put it up and we're going to spell it out in detail exactly what this was about. And it was alluded to season 1, episode 3 of Colony. The title of the episode, 98 Seconds. Some people have probably already figured it out, and they're having their, oh my God, why didn't I think of that moment? Right now. They're like, that makes perfect sense. It explains why the military did what they did or didn't do, and the entire thing, and why they waited until it was off the coast of South Carolina. It's completely explainable. Because the exact same scenario is laid out in Hollywood from 7 years ago. So I'll leave it there. But once again, Psychological Operations 101. It's what we do. It's what we talk about over at the Patreon channel. How to subtract emotion from everything and then reassess the facts and look at them for what they are. And like I said, it's only $1 US per month. Even less if you sign up for an entire year. And fully refundable, first 90 days, gloves off, no censors, thanks to Vimeo. God bless. Have a happy Sunday. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.